This lesson is on the indefinite adjective, and I'm looking through the story that we read yesterday in class, the chapter 29 story, and right here I see homo quidam. And so when we were reading the story, we knew that we were talking about a man, and it was a man who runs quickly through the street, is not able to avoid the pig. And what do we do with the quidam? You remember it all? For quidam, we said a certain, in this case, man, or you could also say some man. So we're not talking about a known person, it's just some guy, like some person. So it's an indefinite person. We're not defining him, he's indefinite. And so we're not saying, Marcus or Cornelius, a definite person. It's just some person, a certain person. And so that's what we're doing with this form, quidam. And we've taken two different things and we've put them together. So the dam at the end is the part that brings this idea of certain or some, but then the inflection, the part that changes to match the form, is qui. And that will change depending on the gender, number, and case of the noun that we're modifying, since this is an adjective. So this modifies the noun homo, and since homo is masculine, singular, and nominative, we used the form qui. So where are we getting this qui from? We're getting it from the relative pronoun. So if we think about that relative, I'm going to scroll down and give us space to write the whole chart. Now you should already know this chart, but let's practice it again. So I've got my chart set up, and make sure that your chart is set up also, and I'm going to decline the relative pronoun. So you should write this out with me and leave some space after the end of each of your forms. So let's think about that. That's qui, quai, quad, cuius, all the way across, cuius, cuius. I'm going to fill out the whole chart. See if you can do yours from memory. Pause if you need some time. Okay, so now you should have written out the full chart of the relative pronoun. Qui, quai, quad, cuius, 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 qui, quem, quam, quad, quo, qua, quo, qui, quai, quai, quorum, 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 quibus, 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 quos, quas, quai, quibus, quibus, quibus. So make sure you have that written down and that all your forms are correct. And how to take this from the word that means who to the word that means certain, we're going to need to add on that sound that we just talked about that changes the form. And what was that ending we need to add on? That's right, D-A-M. So I'm going to add that on to all of my forms. So do that with me. Add dom to the end of every single form. Okay, so now that you have dom on the end of every form, there are a few special things that we have to watch out for. And the problem is that when we take an M and we add a D, just like we saw in hick, hi, cock, when we took an M and we put a C after it, that D makes us pronounce the M as an N. So we're going to see that spelling difference come up in a few places here. So I can see it right here in the accusative for the masculine and feminine singular, and then in all of my genitives. So I need to go and change these M's so that they are N's instead. So I've erased my M's and I'm ready to come in and replace them with N's. I'm going to do that right here. So now I have quendam, quandam in the accusative masculine and feminine, and then in the genitives I have quarundam, quarundam, and quarundam. So that's the big change in this one. So we're taking the relative pronoun, which is your qui, quai, quad one, plus the ending dom, and then anywhere where M hits D, we have to change it to ND. And that takes us from just saying who to saying a certain as an adjective, so a certain noun, or the other option is some noun. And that's all you have to do to form the interrogative adjective. Thank you. Oh, practice. Review this. Make sure you understand it. If you need to write it out a few times to make sure you know it, that's a good idea. So for practice, write out, without any help, the relative pronoun. So you're going to write it out entirely, from memory. And then check it to make sure it's right. And then take that and adapt it to make it the chart for the indefinite adjective, what we practiced today. So then go through, add the dom onto the end of the relative pronoun, change your M's to your N's where you need to, check it against the master, like either what's earlier in the video or what's in your book on page 14. If you did it perfectly, then you're done. If you did not, you need to do it again until you get it right. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.